Was the food all right in general?
Yeah, I didn't think it was too bad.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you'd come down and, like, and believe it or not, like the kind of the mad world we live in, there'd be a comments book on the wing for the prisoners to write in, you know. So you could, and some of the comments that you'd read in there would be hilarious. And you'd be doing the meal one day, and you'd often have a browse through the comments book. And this particular prisoner wrote in there, this particular day, I can't remember what it was now, what he had to eat. But his comments were, shit, and more shit. This is fucking shit. So I just put something on along the side of like, if the owner of these comments would like to come and speak to me about it, we'll speak to the kitchen, you know. So, but they never did. But the food was okay, you know. You'd have a roast dinner on a Sunday, and that was okay. But some prisons you go to, some food can be really bad. But some of the guys that we'd have working in the kitchen, like prisoners, some of these guys would have, you know, worked in
proper kitchens,
cooking in this, you know. So some of them kind of did take a bit of pride in what they were doing because that's kind of all they had to do, really. You know, so some of the food went bad,
Well, head chefs, it wasn't all prison. I guess the head chefs were
you
employed.
had like guys in there, and one of the guys that we had working in our prison, I don't know how true this is because I find it a little bit strange, but apparently he worked in the Savoy.
Okay.
That's where he learned his trade. But
and he ended up in a prison.
They stepped down from the Savoy to 7-Up, like a life sentence prisoner. You know?
Oh man, we'll get back to. Actually, no, we won't. We'll do it right now. As we're talking about food, that's a place you see in movies and stuff like
the slop.
And like
it's usually where it all kicks off.
Give me that roast potato or I'll fucking stab you type thing. What is, from your experience, what's the reality there? Was it quite a hostile environment, or do you just not fuck with someone's food?
That was always like the volatile time, I'd say, was at meal times, like what they call the servery area. As you imagine, like a hot plate in a cafeteria, all the prisoners are coming down, they're queuing for their food. So they're all together at this point in the prison I was in. And the guys that would work on what they call the servery, you'd kind of employ like, not the bullies, but the kind of hard nuts of the wing. You'd have them serving the food because you knew the prisoners that come down wouldn't fuck with these guys because there'd be kind of a little bit of retribution afterwards. And that would always be a volatile time serving meals, you know, and sometimes you'd be there and if you had a guy working on the servery, a prisoner who wasn't kind of like, didn't want that confrontation, you'd be there and you'd be like serving up what they call the crumble day, would be like apple crumble, things like that. And they'd say, can you serve up, Governor? And you'd be like, yeah. And you'd be there like putting one ladle of custard on. And you'd always get one person say, stick us another ladle on there, please, Governor. You'd be like, mate, I've got another 800 people coming through here. I can't give a fuck all.
Yeah.
And then they'd like, what? And because most of these lads have never been told no in their life. And then obviously they come to prison. And then there's kind of rules that they've got to conform to. And that could obviously be a bit of a volatile situation, you know.
Yeah, especially when people are hungry. That's when
they're hungry.
They're hungry, isn't it? Yeah, because it's a real thing, isn't it? When you start getting hungry, and you know you can smell the dinner, smell the gravy, and you start getting a bit twitchy, don't you? You're like, well, I do anyway. But where's my smiley faces?
It's also like a power test, isn't it? It's like they don't really want the extra cost or whatever. It's just like the one.
Can they get away with it?
Yeah, if they get one up, then it's like, I've got one up on you. It's a psychological thing where but you do it for one, you got to do it for everyone. It's a fucking can turn into a right mess.